Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal, and in today's video I want to talk about my 5 favorite menstrual health books. I have 6 books here. I have picked my my 6 favorite menstrual health books. These books have really helped me get to know my body better as well as my menstrual cycle, and I think there's some great books that will help you get started on your menstrual health journey. Now, without further ado, let's get started with Period Repair Manual by Dr. Lara Briden. If you guys watch my videos, you will know that I'm a big fan of Dr. Briden. I love her work. I actually have a dedicated video on this book because this book has been so amazing that I actually wanted to do like a dedicated book review on it, so I will put that in the description so you guys can check that out. But basically, this is a guide for better periods. And one of the big reasons why I love this book is that Dr. Briden goes very deep into so many menstrual health issues in this book. So she talks about like period loss, period pain, endometriosis, PCOS. She talks about everything. And I think that's really important because there's no other book that I've really come across that is this comprehensive on menstrual health conditions. And the other thing I really love about this book is that Dr. Briden gives some like holistic treatment options for these conditions, as well as more like medical interventions and like surgical options for some of these things. So she kind of combines the best of both worlds, which is really awesome, especially if you're someone that is struggling with menstrual health issues and you want to maybe try, including some supplements in your diet or doing some of the other protocols that she mentions. And then, if those aren't helping or working, then you can look towards doing more of like a medical protocol or something like that. Love this book. It's so interesting. I learned so much, so much, and this book is just been so helpful for me as my role as like a menstrual health educator too. As you can see, I have so many sticky notes in it. It just goes through so many health conditions that I had to put sticky notes because I was like, oh, this is so easy to reference. So yeah, this book is an incredible resource for anyone with a menstrual cycle. So moving on to book number 2, we have Wild Power by Alexandra Pope and Sjanie Hugo Wurlitzer. As this book says on its cover, it helps you discover the magic of your menstrual cycle and awaken the feminine path to power. Love that so much. This is actually the first book I read on menstrual cycle awareness, and to say that this changed my life is an understatement. I've never read a book that has really empowered me so much and has helped given me like the steps and like a guide to get to know my body and my cycle better. And this book just like blew me out of the water. There's just so much wisdom in this book. It's an unbelievable resource, and I'm so glad that they wrote it because I wish everyone could have a copy of this. It's just so fantastic. Another reason why I really love this book is that it talks very in depth about the inner seasons of the cycle. So the inner seasons of the cycle is a framework that you can use to kind of get to know your body better and connect with it in a more intimate way rather than like a medical way. Because the phase of the cycle, it's like you have the menstrual phase and then the mid-follicular phase and then you have ovulation. It's very kind of like medical, but this book talks about the inner seasons. So your inner winter would be your menstrual phase, and then your inner spring would be that like pre-ovulatory phase. And it's just a beautiful way of connecting to your cycle and realizing when you're in these different seasons, you are going to feel a certain way, compared to the seasons in nature. I just love this book for that because that framework really helped me understand the phases of my cycle in a whole new way. The authors really want you to understand that your experience is going to be unique, your menstrual cycle is unique, and holding space for yourself and getting to know your strengths and vulnerabilities in each phase is just really important. And they emphasize creating that kind of space and being really compassionate to yourself and understanding that, you're not crazy or anything. You are someone who has a cycle and you ebb and flow. So definitely pick this up if you are interested in menstrual cycle awareness. You will not be disappointed, trust me. All right, so moving on to our next book. This is the Happy Hormone Guide by Shannon Leparski. And I love Shannon's work. You might know her from Instagram. She's at The Glowing Fridge. And she also has an amazing website and blog under the same name. And I will link all of this stuff in the description. But this is actually a plant-based guide to balancing your hormones. How amazing is that? If you know me, you know plant-based. Plant-based is close to my heart. I've been vegan for 11 years. It's just who I am, baby. So when this book came out, I was so excited because it's a plant-based guide, and if you are like me, you'll notice that there's not a lot of plant-based nutrition information in regards to like hormone support. So I highly recommend this. Shannon offers so many tips in this book on living with your cycle, understanding your hormones, how to support your hormones. In the back of the book, she has recipes for each phase of the cycle. And one thing that she really emphasizes in the book is cycle syncing your nutrition. She also includes a ton of information on plant-based diets in general. She talks about the cycle phases. She talks about like detox and how liver support is really important. And she just has like the most amazing recipes. So I highly recommend this book if you're looking for a plant-based guide on supporting your hormones. So the next book I want to talk about is Miranda Gray's The Optimized Woman. So this book is really awesome because it talks about using your menstrual cycle to achieve success and fulfillment. Now, this is the first book I read where it actually went through each day of your cycle for, 28 days, and it told you what to expect and how to feel on each day, which I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Each phase for us is different, and each day can bring up different things as well. So this is a great book, especially if you are someone who wants to learn more about cycle syncing your work, your commitments, basically your life. This book is for you. I love it because Miranda talks about the optimum times of the cycle. So instead of using the inner seasons as a framework like a lot of other books do, she actually uses a framework that is based on like your strengths and your superpowers in each phase. So those phases would be your dynamic phase, your expressive phase, your creative phase, and your reflective phase. So that is just a different framework to use when you are relating to your cycle. And she talks about what your strengths are in each phase as well as some vulnerabilities. It wasn't until I started reading books like this that I really realized, oh my goodness, I have superpowers in my cycle, and there are days when I'm gonna be like really creative and I should like pounce on that. And I just thought that it was so cool. And that is why I wanted to include this book, because I think it is really powerful, especially for people who are looking to work with their cycle and cycle sync their life to the phases of their cycle. And so this is a super awesome book, and it's been out for a very long time, and I'm just really glad that Miranda wrote it and brought this to the world, because I think it can help a lot of people. So yeah, definitely check it out. All right, we only have 2 more books, so stay with me. These 2 books are like, mwah! Chef's kiss. They're amazing. These 2 books are actually books that I bought this year, so they are new. And I mean like kind of new, because this one, Code Red by Lisa Lister, she actually released this years ago. It was probably one of the first books on the market about periods and menstrual cycle awareness and all that kind of stuff. But she recently did a new edition, and that is what this is. So this is Code Red, and the best part about the cover is she says, know your flow, unlock your monthly superpowers, and create a bloody, amazing life, period. I love that so much. Now this book, first of all, I just want to say that Lisa is like a huge inspiration to me, and her humor and wit really comes through in her writing. She's hilarious, but she's also a truth teller. So she tells it like it is, and sometimes that is just what we need. I don't need my menstrual cycle to be sugar-coated. I want to know all the bits, the positive bits and maybe the negative bits, And that's what Lisa is so great at. So this book is a guide on getting to know your cycle. It is all-encompassing. Like, it talks about everything. It talks about how to track your cycle. It talks about your cyclical powers. It talks about vulnerabilities. It talks about the different phases. It talks about herbal medicine, movement for each phase. She talks about creating rituals around each phase of your cycle and like really embodying your cycle. And it just makes you really excited to track your cycle and like get to know your body and look forward to your period and all that kind of stuff. The other thing I really like about this book is that in the back of the book, she offers some resources, and then she also talks about how to talk to your partner about your menstrual cycle, because we all know our partners can't read our minds. If they don't have menstrual cycles, they don't know what's going on. And it's so important to have open and honest communication with your partner. And Lisa's partner actually wrote a few pages in the back of the book and talked about what it's like to live with someone with a menstrual cycle and how to be conscious of that and how to honor that. So I just love this book so much. So if you guys see it, like, definitely pick yourself up a copy. So the last, but certainly not the least, book that I want to talk about is 50 Things You Need to Know About Periods by Claire Baker. Now, Claire is again, like a huge inspiration of mine. mine. Claire is the first person I actually saw on Instagram talking about periods. On my menstrual health journey, I felt very like, I wouldn't say embarrassed or ashamed, but I just felt like the changes I was seeing in my body from taking care of myself, I just felt really like scared to share that with the world because there's such a taboo around periods. And then I found Claire's work and it was so inspiring to me, and she was just so honest. And again, she just tells it how it is. I've been following her work for a really long time. I also have her ebook, which is Adore Your Cycle. But this is Claire's hardcover book. And the reason why I like this book, well, actually there's a lot of reasons, but okay, first of all, look at how beautiful this is. I'm sorry, did you see that? Look at how many colors. Yeah, it's so pretty. And look at the illustrations. It just makes this book one of those ones that you just want to like hug and hold and just read again. This book has everything in it, and it's a great starting point for anyone to learn about their menstrual cycle. So if you were like young or old, it doesn't matter. This book will tell you so much about your body. And one of the big reasons why I think this book is so powerful is because it is so accessible. And it's so beautifully written and just really comes from the heart. And that's why I love Claire's work, because everything she says really comes from the heart, and she really, she lives this. This is her. And so she talks about menstruality. She talks about the inner seasons of the cycle. She gives resources. She talks about sustainable period products. She talks about what's normal and what's not. She gives journaling prompts. She talks about the superpowers of the cycle, the vulnerabilities. She just talks about everything, and she puts it in a way that makes you really excited to learn about your cycle and start tracking and getting to know your body better. So again, pick up this book. You should just pick up all of these books I talked about, because they're all so amazing. They're all special in their own way, and they all just are there to help you learn more about your body and your cycle and how to live in this world that isn't really made for people that have menstrual cycles. So I hope you guys liked this video and you got a little glimpse into my bookshelf and my favorite menstrual health books. If you have any questions, let me know. I just want to say with full transparency, I'm not getting paid to promote these books. These are all my own books, bought them with my own money, and these are just books that I think can really help you, and that's what I'm here for. I'm just here to help you learn more about your body, and I just wanted to give you guys some more resources so you can go to the bookstore and pick something up for yourself and really just get to know yourself and your body and your cycle better. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, your cycle matters so much and I'm here for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!